I want to welcome you to the third and final race at Daytona. This race will be in the VW Jetta TDI Cup car. We're right here going to cycle through some different camera options that I have here. That's the nose, gearbox, cockpit, suspension. This is gyro cam, which is really cool. And that the camera stays vertical no matter what position the car is in. We're coming down the back straight to pick up the green. While we're here, I want to thank our sponsor, Captain Richard. He's primarily a Star Citizen streamer, does sci-fi games and some indie games. You can find him at www.twitch.tv/Captain Richard. He's on Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time till about 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Sometimes he runs longer depending on what's going on in stream. And here we take the green flag. Also want to thank non-paid sponsor, Logitech G. We use the Logitech G29 wheel and pedals. And the Red Eagle logo on my car is for the YouTube channel, is the YouTube channel logo. You can find Captain Richard at twitch.tv/Captain Richard. And we're on lap 1 here, coming to take the white flag. Now, for those of you not quite familiar with iRacing, iRacing is when you're in a multi-class race like this will be, we'll have Mustangs, Miatas, me and the Jetta, and Pontiac Solstices. You only race in your class, and I am in the TDI, both the Jetta TDI class, but on this race, fortunately, unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, I'm the only Jetta. So I'm only racing against myself in this race. And then I said the Mustangs race against the Mustangs, the Miatas race against the Miatas, and the Solstices race against the Solstices. iRacing assures us that there is no advantage to winning the overall race or where you finish in position overall. Here we are coming to the checker for qualifying. I will qualify on the pole because, I'm the only one. Once we got the qualifying done, we'll fast forward to sitting on the grid. Then while we're sitting on the grid, I'll go look at several of the different cars that are in the field. And here we go. We took the checkered flag. We have qualified our 2 laps. You get in this series 2 laps to qualify. You saw I get a little squirrely there because as I got hard on the brakes after getting there, the car kind of pulled to the right, and I was just trying to get it back under control. This was my first race in the Jetta. I haven't had it very long. I've done a time trial with it at this point and this race. And here we go, fast forwarding through the 8 minutes of qualifying. We qualified within the first 2.5 minutes. And here we are sitting on the grid. The reason you see the cars with the white paint scheme, I use Trading Paints, which is how I did the livery for the Captain Richard Crew Racing car, Jetta. All the cars that are white are also using Trading Paints, and that's the program loading in their paint jobs. And we have people blinking in and out, which may be a netcode issue or it just may be artifacts from the replay file. And replay get kind of hanky sometimes. Hear a lot of people shifting in and out of gear. And there we're going to go, or I just start shifting through different cars. Now, in the future, if you'd like to see the overlay all the time, please say so in the comments and we can work that out. And as you can see, there's Mustangs up ahead. That's, the replay hankiness kind of not showing them until you get closer to them. Then the cycle back. So, the Mustang has a nice sound, doesn't it? That big Ford V8 or 5-liter V8. And there I switched to someone who wasn't showing up in the replay. That's why the screen was black. Cycling back through the field again. And the Sim Labs Production Car Challenge, and when we're doing a rolling start, we only have one pace lap. So we're coming to the green here. And now we're going to cycle back to our Captain Richard Racing Crew. Captain Richard Crew Racing Volkswagen. And we're going to switch to TV view here in a minute and watch the start and the rest of the race from TV1. And here we go, forming up, coming to the green. So I'm going to drop the overlay here in a minute because it shows more of the track. But like I said, if you want to see the overlay through the whole race, just let me know in the comments and we'll start doing when we convert the replay file into an MP4 so we can do the voiceover. And then we've got the green flag and a Mustang that did not qualify coming up through the field. And I let it hang in 5th gear a little long here, which caused a little backup. And we have an accident with the Solstices, in part because he wasn't expecting me just to not go. I let it hang in 5th gear a little long. But we got it up into 6th now, and we're starting to run down these 3 Solstices that we're going to draft with for a little while. As I said in the other video, we're going to give a lot of discussion in this race about drafting. And as this is the first race with the car, I'm going to run a little high for a lot of the race, getting used to how the car feels. And we're going to draft, working on the straightaways, drafting up with these 3 Solstices. And then we'll pick up for actually most of the race. Ever Posada is behind us right now. He will come up and we will take him as a drafting partner and we will stay there. He is right there on the outside line. And that blinking in and out is probably netcode or it's replay artifact. Like I said, it can get hanky sometimes. But if you get lose throughput a lot, your car will disappear and flash on and off. It's not fun when the guy in front of you starts doing that. But since I just saw a puff of smoke back there, it's probably netcode. The car's dropping onto the track, making like an airplane. The wheels puff smoke when you drop onto the track like that. And here we go. I did draft up to him. I've gotten high because at the time I was getting the car felt out. I didn't want to risk bumping them in the corner and causing an incident like we had in the last race. I think I beat him up in that video enough. I won't mention his name again. But so we're running wide. And because the Jetta is just a tiny bit faster than the Solstices, we're rolling up past them even though they're drafting. And here he's going to pop out and help me push up a little bit. Then he kind of fell back and dropped down in line, and I stayed up high. Because like I said, they're drafting. Those first two Solstices are doing a real good job at drafting. That's a class in drafting right there. Just stay behind each other and stay in a straight line. I gotta get something to drink here. SodaStream seltzer water, the best seltzer water you can make at home. Here we have the Solstice coming out of the pits. It's probably the one that spun into the wall on lap at the green. I said the Jetta is just that tiny bit faster than the Solstices. That's why I'm able to stay side by side with them around the track and they're drafting. I got just that little bit more speed. And then we got the two Miatas that are behind us coming. He pops out, it gives me a little more push, and at the time I didn't realize he had done that, and I right here hang him out to dry, and I regret that. I wish I'd stayed high for him to pull him up to the front. I wasn't looking in my mirror at the time. I didn't see him back there, and by the time I realized what had happened, I pulled up, but the Chrome Solstice just followed me up, and he stayed out, hung out to dry. I do kind of regret that a little bit. And here comes Mr. Posada. He's caught up to he lost his other drafting partner. I don't know what happened there, but he's still back there. Mr. Posada just managed to just pull away from him. All right. And here he comes up drafting. Drafts behind me. Then he takes it 3 wide down the back stretch. And at that point I say, Mr. Posada, I am following you. And then immediately pull out of line. This is the first race I'm driving with this Jetta, and I'm not real comfortable right there at the bottom, which we'll see later why. It just still trying to feel the car out and learn how it reacts and everything. We all get all tucked up in line, and then again I pull back out again for the corner. Here comes the Mustangs. We're going to go 1 lap down here from the leaders. Through the trioval again, the 3 Solstices I started with are still with us at this point. And because I have pulled out, Mr. Posada has managed to pull away a little bit. Miata is fast compared to the Solstices. And because I'm not running the optimum line, which I've left up in the replay here so you can see the optimal line. Neither of us are actually following the optimal line. We'd go just that little bit faster if we did. And here's where we broke the draft on the solstices that were following us, because I managed to stay in line behind him. I'm starting to get more comfortable with the car. I'm able to run that little bit lower here. And you see I'm ever so slowly reeling him in. But I have, at this point, committed I'm not going to try to pass him. One, like I said, they tell me that my finishing position with another type of car doesn't matter. He is one place ahead of me in the overall scheme of things, but in iRacing, that's not supposed to matter. And there was a puff of smoke. Somebody had an incident there and then elected to have themselves towed back to the pits. So that's why we don't see which car it is. Here comes some more Mustangs. That one with the bent up front end is in 6th place. He must have got in it with the black Mustang we saw coming out of the pits earlier. Or something anyway. Can't say for sure. Because I tried to look to see what incident caused that, and it was not in my replay file. Right, he's not got a wreck. Following him, screen goes black, and then it comes back. He's pulling back onto the back straight from where NASCAR has the infield paved because of people coming off the wall and sliding into the inside walls. Comes some more Mustangs. So he got an incident and slid down through here somewhere, and then he's coming back on the. Don't know why. Don't know what happened. And is staying tucked in behind Mr. Posada. Again, thank you for the draft for the whole race. I hope my being in tow didn't slow you down any at all. I know you helped my top end speed down the back straight. Now see, there's the 3 solstices. The lead solstice has kind of separated himself from the other 2. Coming out of turns 1 and 2 also are very rough at Daytona. When you're in a chase view, you just watch the cars bounce. That smoke's just kind of hanging around there. The bus stop chicane on the back straight used by when you're using the road course. We did that one first week this season. We didn't have the Jetta at that time, but we've since picked up sponsorship and picked up the Jetta from Captain Richard. Captain Richard at twitch.tv/Captain Richard. Very entertaining Star Citizen streamer. You should come by and have a watch. Hope to see you there. If you do, tell him Alcimor sent you. Now, when you come out of the pits here at Daytona, and I didn't say that during the qualifying, but you see that blue cone there, you have to stay on the apron until you get past that blue cone. Then you can pull out on the track. If you pull out on the track before then, you'll get a black flag for improper pit exit, and it's like a 26-second stop and go penalty. Now, when we pulled out under the pace car cut out straight, so you're then allowed to pull out on the track before the blue cone, but that's only on a pace lap with the pace car at the beginning of the race. And you see how we almost a whole straightaway in the trioval separated ourselves from the solstices there. They're still running together as a three pack. There's a Mustang coming around, going to be catching us probably by the end of the turns 3 and 4, I believe. Looks like there might have been a puff of smoke back there. Yep, they'll be catching us in the trioval. Hear that throaty V8 coming out of turn 4. 2 laps down to the lead pack. I let myself, through the trial, I breathed the throttle a little bit because I felt I was getting too close, and I almost lost the draft. But we'll pick him back up here in a minute. We're just at the back end of the draft. Theory is the Jetta's about a mile an hour faster than the Miata, but my skill level doesn't indicate that yet. Like I said, this is my 54th race on iRacing. Here comes some more Mustangs, or one more Mustang again. In the Gulf Racing colors, there's 2 of these with the Gulf Racing colors. This one's without the Gulf logo. A little dip draft there. I see 2 solstices back there. Looks like we might have lost one. The other one with the blue and orange Gulf colors has the Gulf logo on the hood. Yeah, I swear that looks like there's only 2 solstices back there, but we'll have to see. We're getting close to the end of the race here. Like I said, we've stayed in the draft with Mr. Posada all since we picked him up on lap 3. The Volkswagen Jetta is kind of a unique car in iRacing. Not only is it one of only 2, I believe, front-wheel drive race cars, the Kia Optima being the other one, it's a diesel. It is a turbo diesel. Which is why it has a different sound than all the other cars, and it's a little quieter because of that. Yep, 2 more Mustangs coming. Which is why I hung it in 5th gear. You don't really hear the beep, 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 beep when you hit the top of the rev limiter. It's real quiet. You got to really pay attention and hit your shift points, or else you'll hang it in a gear. This is the other Gulf car with the Gulf logo on it. There's just kind to see right there as he goes by. And that must have been the 2 cars we were seeing that I was thinking was the Solstice behind, because there were the 3 Solstices again. There's no way a Solstice could get that far back and catch up at the same time, so I must have been seeing the 2 Mustangs. seconds, and if I could have drafted better, I believe we would have caught the pack of Miatas that were up in front of us. And then we have a different race. At least a more intense race. Like when you're going into turn 3 following a Miata and 5 Mustangs go by 3 wide. Yeah, kind of drafted him back up. And I've fallen back again. Some more SodaStream seltzer water, the best seltzer water you can make at home. Logitech G for all your gaming peripherals. Again, we're using a Logitech G29 with the G29 pedals. I do have the 8 shifter, but for iRacing, I use the paddle shifters on the wheel. I use the 8 shifter for when I'm doing American Truck or European Truck Simulator. And here we go. The lead pack of Mustangs just took the checkered flag. This is the final lap. We are under the white flag. Yeah, the replay file doesn't show the flags. I wish it did. We are coming to the checkers now. And we had a Miata that for some reason went through the bus stop, so he's probably some reason spun coming down the back stretch. Checkered flag. Someone blew a motor. I think he was diving down there to stop, and I went down and almost, I didn't slow down as fast as he did. Yeah, that's what he was doing. So I do cool down laps after the finish because safety rating in iRating is done by incidents per turn, or turns per incident, and the more turns you have between incidents, the higher your safety rating. And so until the very final laps down car finishes, you're counted as having an incident. So just to be on the safe side, to make sure, I'm just collecting up that many more turns before I stop to help pad my safety rating, because right now it's a little shaky. I've been pinballed a few times in races. I'm couple of them were my fault. Most of them were not. People rear-ending me coming into a corner. Got to get down from the 130 mile an hour to 60 mile an hour into the pits here at Daytona. Got to be down to 60 mile an hour before you get to those yellow cones. And we made it. Then we come down to our pit stall here in a minute. Got 60 mile an hour really seems slow. Now we're really starting to slow down and stop. The lollipop man. Well, that's going to do it for this race. Thank you for coming. Don't forget our sponsor, Captain Richard, at twitch.tv/Captain Richard. Thank you again. Thank you for coming and watching the video. Have a good day. Like and subscribe if you like the content.